Nyingma Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to today's teaching, and I hope you all are doing well. And again, we're going to continue the teaching on the guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life by the great master Shantideva Bodhisattva. And I'm going to pick up where I left off last class. But I just let you know, if you're joining this teaching for the first time, you can watch the previous teachings on this topic on YouTube channel. And if you think those teachings are beneficial, you should watch them again. And also please share these teachings with others, with your friends who are interested in practicing bodhicitta, so that you can make them happy. You can guide them to the bodhisattva's way of life. I think that's very important. And because the best way, when we talk about bodhicitta, practice bodhicitta, you want to help, right? Help others. So the best way to help others, try offering these teachings, your friends, your family, little sort of information about bodhicitta. And that is the best way to help. I think the most precious sort of gift you can give your friends and your family is the Dharma teaching. Because if they practice Dharma, then both this life and the future, they have a good life, happy life. So Dharma teaching, share them Dharma teachings and help them understand it, like, bodhicitta practice. Those who have this sincere wish to attain enlightenment for the benefit of others are called the bodhisattva, right? So bodhicitta is very important again, so you can let your friends and your family, understand about bodhicitta. Let them give sort of these teachings of bodhicitta without force them in it, right? But just share them anyway. That's very important, I think. And bodhicitta is a very good, how do I say, state of mind, combined with the highest intelligence. Wish for enlightenment for the sake of others is what we call bodhicitta, right? If we wish to free ourselves, free others from the suffering of samsara, then we should practice and develop bodhicitta. But first we have to be aware, we have to understand what is wrong with samsara, because this will, once you understand, it will give rise to the desire to free yourself and others, and this will change your mind. So that's why when you engage practice bodhicitta, you will understand what is wrong with samsara. That gives you enthusiasm, and really desire, to generate bodhicitta. So anyway, now I would like to begin by reminding all of you that it is very important to have a good motivation for this class, this teaching, because as you know, a selfish motivation will not bring much benefit. So I always say with the correct motivation right at the beginning, and then dedication at the end, you can accumulate great karma, great virtue, great merit. So please remember that, correct your motivation. That is, great place to begin. Now again, remember, I always say this, Shantideva was bodhicitta prayer. May spring precious bodhicitta take birth where it has not arisen. Where it has arisen, may it never went, but continue to grow forevermore. This is about way of the bodhisattva, the summary, right? So 3 chapters, 6, there are 10 chapters, right? 3 chapters that give rise to the precious bodhicitta, where it has not yet arisen. 3 chapters that prevent the decrease of the precious bodhicitta, where it has arisen. Then 3 chapters, wisdom chapter, meditative concentration chapter, diligence chapter, right? 3 chapters that not only prevent the decrease of the precious bodhicitta, but cause it to generate, increase more and more. Okay, so that 9 chapters basically, and then of course the 10th chapter dedication. So that is the summary of this text according to, remember, pattern, which is instruction. So you have to remember that. What are the 3 chapters? First 3 chapters about. What are the second, the middle, the 3 chapters, these pāramitās are about. So you have to understand those. Now, again, what is bodhicitta? Bodhi and citta, right? Bodhi means enlightenment or awakening. Citta is mind or heart. Heart, so together bodhicitta is heart of enlightenment, heart of awakening. Enlightenment means awakening or awaken the mind, right? As I mentioned at the last teaching, bodhicitta has 2 aspects, compassion and wisdom. There are 2 focuses and 2 points compassion and wisdom. Compassion focus on the benefit of benefiting others through a mental commitment, right? Like I will free all sentient beings from their suffering of samsara. That is compassion, aspiration. Wisdom, the other aspect of bodhicitta, is wisdom. Wisdom focuses on perfect enlightenment through mental commitment. Sherab in Tibetan meaning wisdom focuses on perfect the Buddhahood enlightenment. Okay, for example, I will establish all sentient beings on perfect enlightenment. So two points, right? Wisdom, you have to, if you practice bodhicitta, you have to develop compassion and wisdom. So this is how you generate bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is more than love and compassion, right? So basically generating bodhicitta is making your mind sharp, courageous. So if as a practitioner, we lack this wish and commitment, we will not be able to reach enlightenment. If as a Dharma practitioner, we don't believe in the positive, negative sort of consequences of our action, we will not be able to generate bodhicitta. Yeah. And if as a Mahāyāna practitioner, we don't follow the actions of the Bodhisattva and the conduct of the Bodhisattva, then the practice of genuine Dharma is simply not possible. But if you are willing to make an effort, even though your capacity is still not developed at the moment, and you may not have the ability now, but it can be developed through practice bodhicitta. So you have to think that as a Mahāyāna practitioner, how many times do you remember bodhicitta? I'm not talking about like, you sit on your cushion and then you meditate, whatever. I'm not talking like that, but generally like during your daily life, whatever you do, when you work, when you are not working, whatever in your daily life, how many times you remember bodhicitta? That's very simple, right? Usually teachers give you like so many different kinds of things, visualizations, empowerment, recitations, all of that. That's a lot. So in order to do that, you have to make time, sit on cushion, meditate. But bodhicitta is different. Bodhicitta is very simple, very, very simple practice. Like, as a Buddhist practitioner, as a Mahāyāna practitioner, you need to remember two things. How many times you remember Buddha Shakyamuni? How many times you remember bodhicitta? That's all. So you can investigate yourself, whether you are a good practitioner or not. You can see that. So, for example, during the day, within an hour, do you remember once within an hour, these two, an hour, 60 minutes, within 60 minutes, do you remember only one time, one sort of Buddha and Bodhicitta? I'm not talking about sort of meditation thing, I'm talking about just remember, for example, if you have a good friend, if you have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, you will remember those people within a 60 minutes for sure, at least maybe 100 times you remember. But how many times do you remember Buddha and Bodhicitta? If you don't remember them within a 60 minutes, you are not good practitioner. That's, so that's, I think, very important. Once you remember, you will do something. And then you can remember more and more, more and more. Maybe eventually you can never separate. They're always together in your mind. But right now, I think we forget because so many distractions in our daily life, so many negative emotions and thoughts and, all that. Then we don't remember. So that's very important. If you remember, I think you don't need really complicated sort of meditation, just very simple. Remember Buddha and Bodhicitta. That's it. How simple is that, But once you remember, then you'll be able to generate bodhicitta. You will develop trust and faith in Buddha, because bodhicitta is basically teachings of Buddha, from Buddha, right? Then you will be able to increase your good heart, kind mind, if you remember. So it can be developed through practice and bodhicitta, your capacity, in the biography of Milarepa, one of his students said to him, Milarepa, you must be an emanation of Buddha or something. Then Milarepa said that, I know you want to show your respect to me by saying that, emanation of Buddha. Yet it is a serious, untruthful humiliation to the Dharma, because it shows that you don't believe that the Dharma can transform an ordinary person into someone like me, right? So if you say, oh, this teacher must be something, must be like reincarnation of this and this, we have all this turkus, must be important. I don't know what is the quality, what is capacity, but this must be, the turkus are reincarnation of emanation of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, blah, blah, blah. You don't believe that yourself, that you can be like that. You can transform, even though you are sort of ordinary person right now, but you can be you can develop your capacity. You can transform yourself through the Dharma practice. If you believe Dharma, then you become like Milarepa, you become like Buddha. I think that's very important. So basically, Milarepa said that you don't have to be someone like Buddha if you practice Dharma, because it can transform an ordinary person like us into someone like Milarepa, you know? So it is really true. And I totally believe that if you generate bodhicitta, it can diminish your selfish mind. It can certainly change your action, negative actions and conduct as a bodhisattva. As you know, Shakyamuni Buddha began his path as an ordinary person, right? And eventually attain enlightenment. You can see it. Not only Buddha, but there are lots of masters and great practitioners become like that. So trust yourself and remember bodhicitta at least within one hour. If you don't remember it, you have to do something that makes you remind you, you know, that's very important. Otherwise, we always, like me, you know, all the time when I teach, you know, my teachings are based on bodhicitta, because my practice, myself, you know, my practice is just bodhicitta, nothing really else. But if you don't remember, just to hear while during the teaching bodhicitta, and then you don't practice, don't act that way, then there's no way to transform your negative emotions into kind mind. Now, we have been talking a lot about the benefit of bodhicitta in general, right? And I gave you the different instructions how to practice bodhicitta, remember? In the last teachings, many different kinds of instructions how to practice bodhicitta, aspiration bodhicitta. So I hope you keep them in your mind. Otherwise, you listen, you heard lots of bodhicitta, and then it comes, you know, comes down like when you sit on cushion, and then, wait a minute, how do I practice bodhicitta? Right? That happens a lot if you don't keep the instructions in your mind. That happens a lot. My student asked me how to practice bodhicitta, even though all these teachings are about bodhicitta. So that's that. Now, today we're going to talk about specific body benefit, right? And the differentiation of benefits of aspiration and action bodhicitta, okay? The stanza for that is, you should take a look, stanza number 710, 710 stanza. Shanchi Mumbi Semli no Kurtsin Devi Chem Joya, Chirton Yupi Semjan, the Sonim Jinchak Jonga, means it says, the mind of aspiration bodhicitta gives rise to great and vast results for beings still wandering in samsara, yet merit does not rise from it in ceaseless streams, as does the bodhicitta of action. Number 18 stanza. From the point of time when one has genuinely adopted this bodhicitta in order to fully liberate infinite realms of beings, with resolve from which one does not turn away. Gani zonte simchin kam tayrab de tuwi murdo pa sim de yang da langer na tani zonte ni lokum permitir chanso nim shu jimen chabat ma nam kan yam barab dun jones. I will recite this again, the 19th stanza. From that moment, these are together, right? So again, with the resolve from which one does not turn away, from that moment on, even while asleep or inattentive, a strength of merit is continuous, arises equal to the vastness of the sky. Okay. Now we're here talking about the differentiation of the benefit of aspiration and action bodhicitta, okay? So of course, aspiration is the foundation, important. So far we talk a lot of the benefit of aspiration, but action bodhicitta is more, right? It has more benefit. And as we discussed before, once you generate sort of aspiration bodhicitta, it is wishing good things for others, right? It desires all sentient beings to be free from suffering, right? And to have happiness. So, you know, aspiration bodhicitta, it brings enormous benefit while you are in this samsara. However, it does not have an uninterrupted stream of merit, as does the benefit of the bodhicitta of action, okay? It is because the aspiration bodhicitta is mostly, you know, a state of your mind. It doesn't include activities, right? Just compassion in your mind. You wish, you know, also you have desires of all sentient beings free from suffering, have happiness, right? It's kind of compassion, but it's in just, it doesn't sort of, there's no activity, you know? It's like you are having a strong desire to go on a vacation. You say, I will do whatever it takes to get there, right? You have a strong desire for all sentient beings to be free from suffering. Wonderful. This is a great commitment, and it brings great benefit. But the action bodhicitta, right? Yuksim in Tibet, bodhicitta brings more benefit, okay? Because action bodhicitta is you really do something. You really help others, that you were thinking about helping in aspiration bodhicitta. You are preparing. Now you do it. You have a capacity. You do it. That is so this is a different, this is action. This is different from aspiration bodhicitta. So you are just thinking about helping others. This time, like the action bodhicitta, you are not just thinking about sort of helping sort of others, but you're really doing something for others in action. So that's why it has more benefit than the aspiration bodhicitta. Therefore, Shantideva says here, once you are fully engaged in this action bodhicitta, then from that moment on, there will always be benefits, even during your sleep, or even when your mind is totally distracted. Even when you are not mindful, if you are not mindful in your daily life, right? There are lots of distractions, negative thoughts and emotions, but the power of merit is continuously arising. That's why it says it gives you like equal to the vastness of the sky, limitless, meaning basically it's limitless. Your merit is limitless. This will happen because when you are no longer act from a selfish motivation, you will experience a strength of merit continuously arising. And there will be a ceaseless benefit, even during sleep, even during in your daily life. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying? You have aspiration bodhicitta. Now you are acting, right? Your acting must be on compassion, love. So there is no selfish motivation. That's why whatever you do, or if you are doing nothing, once you have that kind of mind, selflessness, the selfish list, the not selfish mind, then that's why your merit increase even during the sleep. Okay? Do you understand the why? Why is that the reason? The selfish mind destroy our merit, our virtue, our positive potential thought, positive good thoughts, everything. Selfish mind destroy everything. That's why we're ordinary, lots of distractions and do negative things. But once you engaged in action bodhicitta, then selfish mind is gone. Then everything is merit. And this is the happiness of egolessness, I would say. This is also what we call everlasting happiness. It is the joy of realizing there is no separation between you and others. You feel it. You feel it, others as same as yourself. That's why. So it brings tremendous peace and freedom into your mind. Because with this realization, you have understood that the selfless sort of action liberates everyone from suffering of samsara. If you are in possession of this kind of bodhicitta, then it is just fine if you are sick. It is just fine if you are dying. It is just fine no matter what you're doing. Everything is source of happiness. Everything is virtuous. Because everything you do is motivated by the precious bodhicitta. Therefore, whatever activity you are involved in, it is all virtuous, all merits, good thing. Therefore, it says strength of merit is continuous, arises equal to the vastness of the sky. Shantideva, great bodhisattva, he said that. Do you understand? Do you really understand? I don't know. So that's the difference between the benefit of aspiration and action bodhicitta, okay? That's why I always say, please, please, please practice bodhicitta. It's very simple. It's very simple, but it's very profound. You don't have to be Buddhist. You don't have to be anything. You have to be yourself and practice bodhicitta. So according to Shantideva, as the mind develops this sort of supreme, precious bodhicitta qualities, and the more it gets rid of selfishness and arrogance, then it acts as an antidote to the mistaken belief in selfish mind. And it eliminates negative emotions simply through seeing the mistaken belief in ego is the root of all other negative emotions. That's why it's important, okay? Now the next stanza is proving the benefits of bodhicitta by teachings, scripture, okay? It says 20 stanza, take a look at that, 20 stanza. This with reasoned argument is what the Tathagata, the Buddha, okay, Tathagata Buddha himself explained in the sutra requested by Subhath for the benefit of those inclined to lesser paths. Buddha explained in this sutra, okay, requested one of his students called Subhaha, okay, Lakzang in Tibetan. Sanskrit, his name is Subhaha. Okay. First of all, those who have received the vow of the application or the action bodhicitta, and then maintained it without breaking the vow, the benefit of that is immeasurable, okay? The Buddha explained there are four reasons, the big, let's say more than four, but the major sort of big four reasons from the sutra requested by Subhaha. So there are four reasons. The four reasons are number of sentient beings, one reason. Amount of suffering is second reason. And the qualities of Buddhahood, enlightenment is third reason. And then the duration of time is fourth. I will give you a little bit meaning those four reasons. So the first reason is number of sentient beings. In regard to the number of sentient beings, which is as countless as grains of sand, right? Countless. So these countless sentient beings are the objects of focus, right? That's why bodhicitta, right? Huge, the objects, countless, not just me or not just my family, not just my friends, but all sentient beings. Then the second reason is in regard to the amount of suffering sentient beings, right? Which is as vast as an endless sky. That suffering is the thing which is to be eliminated. Everyone, right? All sentient beings are suffering from samsara. But once you have bodhicitta mind, you want them free from all this suffering. And then third reason is, of course, in regard to the qualities of the Buddhahood, which is as profound as a wish-fulfilling jewel. That's in that sutra Buddha explained. Qualities, those qualities are that which is to be obtained, achieved, right, through practice, bodhicitta. That is what? That is the third. The fourth, and the fourth reason is regard to the duration of time, which are as limitless as sentient beings. That duration is the period of time. So that is what the Buddha himself explained in the sutra, requested by the Bodhisattva, Lakshang, the Sabha Bodhisattva. Okay? It is not only for just the purpose of guiding those Hinayanists, the fundamental beings, but it is for purpose of those people who really, really want to understand the benefit of bodhicitta. That's why Buddha explained. Therefore, Buddha himself, explained the benefit of bodhicitta with sort of these four reasons. There are other many, many, many reasons, but you have to understand that, these four reasons. So here, Shantideva tells us about the Buddha's teaching and inspires us to take the action bodhicitta vow, If you understand these four reasons, Buddha explained in the sutra, the purpose of those people who really want to practice bodhicitta, who really want to understand the benefits of bodhicitta. Once you understand that, it inspires you, right? Oh, I want to practice bodhicitta. I want to take the bodhisattva vow. By the way, I'm going to give you bodhisattva vow during the May retreat. Make sure you understand the benefit of bodhicitta and you really wish and want to practice bodhicitta, then you can take the vow. Okay, now the next stanza is proving the benefit of bodhicitta with reasoning. Okay, the reason. Okay, it says, look at this is 21 stanza and 22 stanza. If one who kindly thinks and merely has the wish to relieve the headaches of beings is endowed with immeasurable merit, then it is needless to speak of the wish to dispel the endless suffering of each and every living being, as well as the wish to establish each of them in immeasurable excellent qualities. That's the reason. Timchin namji lannatsum sallo nyam the samnayang tanduk sambatang den sonum pagme dangerna simchin riri me deva pagdo me pasan de chan riri yondan pagme de dubarno pa mukirgu. So here the first stanza says, if someone kindly thinks, right, like someone who has a kind mind, if I have a bad headache today and you think kindly, nothing has to do with yourself, but you kindly think and you wish to relieve my headache, or somebody else, you kindly think with sort of pure motivation or inspiration, bodhicitta, right? You think, oh, headache must be very, very painful. So I wish to relieve the headaches of this person. The benefit of this aspiration, bodhicitta, is explained by, remember, telling stories of Buddha's previous lives as a bodhisattva. Okay, I will tell you that. Otherwise, you don't understand, why, if I kindly think somebody has a headache, very bad headache, and I really, really wish to relieve the headaches, the benefits of that thought, immeasurable, right? Why? That's why there's a story, right? The story, you might know, in the words of my perfect teacher, they explain this story. There's, of course, in the sutras too, but the story is, listen carefully. Story is very, very long time ago. Who knows this story is true or not, but we don't care. The meaning, the point is you have to understand the meaning, right? The meaning, the benefit of aspiration, bodhicitta. That's why they tell you the story. So there's long time ago, there was a householder called Marita. She had many children, okay? And all those children were sons, okay? And they all died. She has sons, lots of children, they all died. However, the last son, the last son, whose name was Kanyaka, okay? And one day, her son, this guy, decided to go and find some jewels from the ocean, from the lakes. But his mother became very upset, and she thought that he would die because that had happened to other people looking for jewels in the ancient time in India. Still the lots of precious jewels you can find in the ocean, right? But back then, I think that's happened a lot. But his mother was worried because he's going to die. So he was about to go to the sea to collect the precious gems, but his mother tried to prevent him from going. So he didn't want to go. So he held of the hem of his clothes and cried and said, "Please don't go, because you will die." And the boy Kenyaka got really angry with with his mother and said, "I am going to looking for this precious gem. You have brought me very bad luck for my journey across the ocean." Because he got really angry. And with that, he kicked her head, his mother's head, with his foot. And then he departed. Then he arrived to different islands, and he found a lot of beautiful jewels, right? But then we never satisfied, right? Then he wanted more. He wanted to go continue, other sort of lakes and islands, and until he came, he just continued, until and then he arrived another island where he found a house made of iron, and he went into, this is the story kind of become very strange. So he went into the house on the island, right? And he went into the house. In the house, he saw a man who had an iron wheel, like big wheel, spinning on his head and really causing great pain and suffering. So then this guy asked him, how this had happened? Why? Then this man who was suffering answered to him, it's because I kicked my mother's head. And this is the result of having done so. At that point, suddenly, the same thing happened to this boy who kicked his mother's head, right? And he experienced tremendous suffering from the wheel spinning on his head. So that caused him to develop compassion. And as he thought, then suddenly, he say these prayers. He thinks like, may all the suffering of those who experience the result of having kicked their mothers in the head, rapping on me, may none of them experience such suffering again. So he sort of, that is what? That is the aspiration bodhicitta, right? At that very moment, the wheel stopped turning in his head, and he was freed from the suffering from the wheel spinning on his head. But, he died. But because of the genuine aspiration bodhicitta, that is actually the story, the essence of this story, how benefit, like if you practice aspiration bodhicitta. So that was the story. Whether you believe or not, doesn't matter. The aspiration bodhicitta, has this story tells us that this boy's sort of beneficial intention had an immediate effect by relieve his suffering, right? So that's why if I had a really bad headache, and if you say this kind of prayer in your aspiration bodhicitta, you will get the result almost right away, makes you very happy, right? This story tells two things. One thing is that aspiration bodhicitta, if you practice aspiration bodhicitta, even aspiration bodhicitta has less benefit than action bodhicitta, but if you practice aspiration bodhicitta, it has a tremendous benefit, and you can see the result. That's one reason. The second reason is really important. This story tells us that we need to be kind to our mothers. So people say, I don't have a good relationship with my mother, my parent. Don't even tell me that, right? Don't understand. I don't understand. So we have to be kind. We have to be kind to our parents. I will talk that later, okay? So if a person with that kind of strong intention to relieve all sentient beings of suffering will have an immediate result of boundless merit. That merit continues even during the sleep, during the distraction, your daily life. So this is the logic of the Mahāyāna. There's no way to eliminate the suffering of all sentient beings, yet if we would devote our lives to trying and have such a beneficial intention, then this is the aspiration of a bodhisattva. So don't worry about the result, actually. Just open your mind and develop a great intention in a limitless way if you can. When it's limitless, means like all sentient. I want to free from all sentient, even though there's no way you can free from all sentient beings, but that's just, it's not, you know, that brings benefit to everyone you encounter. Don't think it is impossible to eliminate the suffering of all sentient beings. That's not the point. If you think that, then that's focused on the result, right? Instead, allow this profound and vast intention to open your mind. Okay? Since this intention is profound and vast, that causes your mind, your heart, to become as vast as bodhisattvas. That's the point. Otherwise, there's no way to eliminate suffering of all sentient beings, but that's not the point, okay? Don't think about the result. Now, the next stanza says, 23rd stanza, do even fathers and mothers have such a benevolent intention as this? Question. Do the gods and sages or even Brahma have it? Mahāyāna, no way, right? They don't have that kind of intention. Even your parents, even the so here's Shantideva said that nobody has altruistic attitude equal to those of the bodhisattvas. Nobody who want all sentient beings to attain Buddhahood. Even our father and mother don't have this kind of mind. Of course, you know, usually our parents are very kind. They want what is the best for their children. They show their kindness and wish their children have a good life, you know, happy life, and are free from suffering, all of that. But they cannot free their children from the suffering of samsara. They want you actually kind of like indirectly suffering from samsara. Oh, you want to marry, you want your children to have children, you want a children this and this, right? Shantideva also said that even gods, the creator of universe, right? The gods, sages, Brahma, That, Sangpa, even they don't have this kind of aspirational mind. So from Shantideva's point of view, gods and sages and Brahma are not enlightened being, okay? They're not enlightened being. They can't reach enlightenment. Why? Why can't they? It's because they practice only to eliminate their personal sort of suffering. Therefore, they have never even been concerned about or wanted all sentient beings to be free from suffering. They never even wish to accomplish enlightenment for themselves. But bodhisattvas are always concerned with a limitless number of sentient beings, not just for themselves, right? That's why. Then you might wonder, why do bodhisattvas think about all sentient beings free from suffering, even if they're not able to free all sentient beings from suffering? You might think, do bodhisattvas have unhappiness, fear, when they cannot help all sentient beings? But it's like this. If you are concerned about, let's say, 10 people, and you are able to help only one of them, then you feel very happy. If you are able to help 2 or 3 more, or more of those people, those 10 people, then you will be even more happy. But more importantly, you want to help all of them, 10 people, let's say 10 people. You don't have capacity to help 10 people, but you want, right? You want to help all of them because that's your goal, right? I want this 10 people, I want to help this 10 people. When you help them like 2 or 3 people, your mind more open and makes you happy. And then you want more, right? That's your goal. And when you when you help 1 or 2 of them, you're not going to stop. Still, you want to help all of them. And your aspiration is limitless. And that brings sort of more happiness. So, in the case of the bodhisattva, who are concerned with the limitless number of sentient beings, when they think like that, they subdue their selfish sort of, the self-centeredness through their limitless motivation of bodhicitta. Therefore, their confidence, their courageous, and their enthusiasm, all of this also limitless. Each time they help someone, they're happy. And they want more. They want to help more, right? So the bodhisattva's happiness and joy is continuous. That's the reason we all, every day we say, I want to help. we just recited this for a measurable prayer, right? All sin free from some suffering of samsara. All sentient beings have happiness, even though we can't do that. But that's the reason, okay? Then the next stanza says, 24th stanza and 25th stanza. I'm going to read this to you together. If these beings have never before even dreamed about a mind like this for their own sake, how could they do so for another's sake? This intention to benefit all beings, which does not arise in others, even for their own benefit, is an extraordinary jewel of the mind, arises truly wondrous, never seen before. Okay, I'm almost done though. Generating bodhicitta means what? Means making your mind courageous, confident, of all thoughts. This intention to benefit all beings is the most precious, and it is the highest of all mental states, according to Mahāyāna's teaching. We never experienced this before. But through the power of the study in the Mahāyāna teachings, and through the power of a spiritual guide, we will be able to generate this, the most the precious thought, the highest mental state. We will be able to generate it. And so, as I always say, this opportunity to awaken bodhicitta is so precious. So you need to read and study this text as many times as possible, because in order to practice bodhicitta, you need to understand the benefits of it. Because the more you study it, these teachings, Mahāyāna teachings about bodhicitta, the more profound and vast your understanding will become. That's why I remember Bhakti Rinpoche said, don't be satisfied just with hearing and understanding it, but put it into practice from the very depth of your heart. So this instruction on how to generate bodhicitta is the essence of all Dharma teachings. And gradually, the qualities of bodhicitta will manifest in your mind. And then you will be very, very happy no matter what circumstances. Even the aspiration bodhicitta, arise in your mind, it changes your life. That's for sure, 100%. Unfortunately, people don't practice. So that's why Shantideva says, here is an extraordinary jewel of the mind arise, truly wondrous, never seen before. Do you understand? What does this sentence, this stanza mean? Never seen before. If you want to become an sort of excellent practitioner of the Dharma, the Mahāyāna practice, then this text is all you need. You have to read over and over and again and again. Memorize, especially like this first chapter of the way of Bodhisattva. You have to memorize the chapter. Not just to memorize, also on top of that, you have to understand each and every words of this first chapter. You have to understand the meaning. Then it will be possible you really want to practice bodhicitta. Then it will be possible your, what is the chapter, the pāramitās, diligence will arise. If you don't understand, if you don't like something, then there is no diligence. Diligence, this pāramitā practice, action bodhicitta comes once you really like something to do, then you really want to do it. Then that's how you develop your diligence. So therefore, you first need to understand the benefit of bodhicitta in general and the specific, what's different between the benefits of aspiration and action bodhicitta, all of that, okay? So that's very important. So I think I'm going to stop this teaching here for a while, but I will continue to teach this teaching next time. But I'm pretty sure you understand the benefit of this practice. So please, if you don't, read this text and listen to the teachings again. And as Bhakti Rinpoche said, don't be satisfied just with understanding it, but you have to put it into your daily practice, okay? That's that. Now, meditation. By the way, tomorrow, I think here, according to United States, is Mother's Day, right? Mother's Day. So I think it is a good time to meditate on your mother. So begin by meditating on your own mother first. And then if you want, you can sort of extend your meditation to include all sentient beings. Okay? Because when you understand the kindness of your mother, your own mother, then from the Buddhist point of view, all sentient beings have been our parents, our mothers. So then you can sort of develop your love, compassion like that. So first, remember your mother's kindness. Do not think that I don't have good relationship with my mother. Your mother's kindness in producing your body, giving you this precious human life, providing all your needs. Your mother took care of you every day since you were a little baby until you can take care of yourself. Then once you take care of yourself, then you say, oh, I don't have good relationship with parents. Ridiculous, right? It's just. And you can go deeper, of course. You can go deeper and think more about how your parents took care of you, in detail, if you want. So this is how you remembering your mother's kindness, give you this precious human life and took care of you sort of since you were like little baby. Otherwise, if they didn't take care of you, you were little baby, you're dead already. So this is how you're remembering your mother's kindness. Once you remember their kindness, then you think, okay, now it's my turn to repay her kindness. Then you have to think, how can I make my mother happy? Right? How can I free from suffering? This is just give you example, but you have to think more detail about it. How do you talk to your parents kindly, right? How you make a better relationship with your mother, right? So people have a different sort of relationship with their parents. Some are good, some are not good. It's all your fault. If you don't have good relationship with your parents, your fault. You may have some reasons, but that really you don't understand their kindness. So you may need to think of specific sort of relationship with your parents and make your relationship better and stronger in the future. That's all you need to do. Then you make a commitment. Oh, I will be kind. I will take care of them if they need me. I will not make my mother unhappy. And so on and so forth. That's if you have parents, if they're still alive, it's very important to take care of them mentally, physically. If your parents are no longer alive, then you should recognize all sentient beings as your mother. And they have been your mother. If you believe past and future life, you need parents. So you should think like this. There's not a single one who has not been a mother. And when they were mothers, there is not a single mother who did not care for with their great kindness. Nothing but kindness. So then you wish to be free from suffering and lead them into perfect enlightenment. Remember, compassion, wisdom. Compassion, free from suffering. Wisdom, you want to lead them into the perfect enlightenment. Give them, let them practice bodhicitta. That's why I say, please share these teachings to your parents, your friends, if you can, because then they practice bodhicitta. Then there's chance to reach enlightenment. Then you make this commitment: I will not harm any beings and make them happy, and I help them as much as I can. This is how you repay their kindness. So first to remember their kindness, then you repay their kindness, right? And this is how we practice aspiration bodhicitta, by meditating, recognize all sentient beings as our mother, or recognize our own mothers, their kindness, and they have been our mothers. Then remember their kindness, and then how to repay their kindness. There are three methods, right? These three methods. First, recognize all sentient beings as our mothers. Second, remember their kindness. Third, how to repay their kindness. These three methods are very important in order to generate aspiration bodhicitta, okay? So now, practice, meditate. As you know, tomorrow is Mother's Day, as I said. So if they still alive, as I said, you should do something. You should do something for them. Make them happy tomorrow, okay? Even like one day you can make them happy. That's really virtuous, good karma. If they're not alive, I would say, I suggest to you, you should recite 100 money mantra for them if they died, right? Recite 100, at least 100 money mantra. That is based on bodhicitta mind, aspiration, action, bodhicitta mind. That's also how you repay their kindness. So you should repay their kindness, okay? So now, 5 minutes, please meditate on that. Think deeply, okay, about your parents. If you, as I said, two things. If your parents still alive, think really deeply how understand their kindness and repay their kindness. That's your meditation. How simple is that? If they don't alive, then they died, then instead think more about like all sentient beings as your mother, have been your parents, and then how you repay their kindness. Meditate on that, you know, and analytical meditation, right? Kind of. So 5 minutes.